Three, two, one, say tonight. Let me leave that 9 to 5 up on the shelf and just enjoy yourself. Groove. Let the magic in the music get to you. Wait, is it magic or madness? Let the magic in the music. Hold on. Wait, pause. I gotta pull up the lyrics. I gotta pull up the lyrics. Hold on. Give me two. Give me 2 seconds. I'm claiming this now. I don't know how this will work, but a Genius sponsorship will hit the Arts Block podcast. I put off Genius. Lord have mercy. Off the wall, boy. Off the wall. I will have a Genius sponsorship by the end when it's all said and done. Our Block podcast will be sponsored by Genius. All right, here you go. Found it. All right, 3, 2, 1. So tonight, gotta leave that 9 to 5 up on the shelf and just enjoy yourself. Groove. Let the madness in the music get to you. Life ain't so bad at all. Live life on the wall. Live life off the wall. Live life off the wall. Live it off the wall. Hey, yo, welcome back to another episode of the Arts Block podcast. I'm your host, Eric Curry III. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Oh, man, so great to see you all. You all are looking so beautiful, so wonderful, so amazing. Listen, man, this is episode 101. So now we are officially into the 100s. Like, I could have hit episode 100 of the Arts Block podcast and just stopped. I could have been like, well, episode 100, that's it. We can pack this thing up and keep on going. But no, I hit episode 100 and we're keeping going. You know, I want to share this little hey. I want to share this little statistic that I found out, right? It says, according to podmatch.com, on average, it takes 2 years and 100 episodes released before podcasters see results. Unfortunately, 93.88%. Let me say that again. 93.88%. So we round up. 94% of podcasts quit before reaching this point every single day. Now, I just wanna make something known, right? Out of the 94% that quit, the Arts Block podcast is in the 6% that has kept going. Can we just give it up for being a part of the 6%? Can we just give it up for being a part of the minority of people who keep this thing going? We're not a part of the majority that quit. We're part of the minority of people that keep this thing going, keep this thing rolling. It keeps the people going. We keep the people going. It won't be going without you, ladies and gentlemen, so I really do appreciate you guys. If you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post a podcast. If you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, please give me a 5-star and a review. You can just say that this is the greatest podcast that you have ever heard in your life, and that will suffice. Listen, we are in very trying times. This comes out the day after Election Day, so this comes out November 6th. I'm currently recording this November 4th. We are in very trying times right now, and anxieties can be high around this time, which is understandable. That's understandable why anxieties and pressure, why all of that can be very high as of right now. My light is on the wrong setting. I just noticed that. My light is on the wrong setting. There we go. I was like, why does it look so bright in here? That's why, because my light was on the wrong side. Yes, very trying times right now, right? And we can be in this very stressful, can be very anxiety filled. However, I almost posted this on Instagram, but I didn't. If you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. That's ERICCURRYIII. But the Arts Block podcast isn't therapy. It's not, right? As much as a lot of us need therapy, the Arts Block podcast isn't therapy, but it should be therapeutic. Watching this should be just a nice little relief from your everyday world. One of my favorite things about being an actor was that I had the ability to make people leave their reality for an hour, 30 minutes, for however long, right? I had the ability to allow people to leave the reality that they were in and go into a whole different reality, right? And I'm not saying, and it's weird because people think, oh, acting is fake, it's fictional, but no, these are people's real lives that we're portraying. Like, these are people who are actually living like this. So you get to leave from your reality and watch somebody else's actual reality, or you get to leave from your actual reality and watch your reality happening on stage. You just get to escape, right? It's not therapy, but it's therapeutic. That's one of my teachers. That's one of my one thing that my teacher says. It shouldn't be, you shouldn't be therapy, but it should be therapeutic. This is kind of the same way. This is that same. I live by that same format when it comes to this, right? This isn't therapy by any means, but it should be therapeutic. So with election season, kind of coming to an end, but also reaching a new height around this time because mail-in ballots have to come in and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? So as tensions go down, but also up in the same time, and us not knowing what the results are going to be, and us the polls can sway either way, right? Us knowing this and us being so adamant of people getting out and vote, and people fighting, and people hey, go to the polls, make sure you're registered, this, that, and the third, right? All of these things, all of these great and amazing things that we should be doing, that we should be out here voting, we should be registered to vote, we should be doing all these things. Also, oh no, this is going to be passed by the time, but if you're in DC, I was about to say, if you're in DC, you can register to vote the same day as election day, but it's going to be November 6th by the time this comes out. Anyway, I say that to say this, right? Don't let the anxieties of what potentially the next 4 years, and this is way easier said than done. Don't let the anxieties of what potentially the next 4 years can be, right, take you out of what is happening just right now today. The next 4 years are going to happen. I remember I was in church, right? And my pastor was like, listen, we all have a way that we want the next 4 years to happen. Trust me, I do. I have a way that I want the next 4 years to go. So does a lot of the people that I know that watch this podcast. They have a certain way that they want this next 4 years to go. However, if the next 4 years don't go like that, guess what? The next 4 years still has to happen, no matter what. So if it goes the way you want it to go, or if the results of the polls don't go the way you want it to go, how will you live the next 4 years, right? That's basically what we were we wasn't talking about that for the whole service, but he mentioned that in the beginning of the service, right? And I was thinking about listen, I can't think about the next 4 years. I have to think about today. I can't think about the next, I have to think about today, right now, in this moment, right? And while I want the next 4 years to go a certain way, we can only do but so much. We can only do our part. I'm not going to sit up here and say we can't do nothing, because we can. Most of us, hopefully all of us, did our part in the process, but we can only do what we can do, and the rest of it is really not up to us. Right? We did our part. We did what we can do. We went to the polls. We voted, sent in mail-in ballots, did all of those things, right? Did what we could do. And after that it's not up to us anymore, right? So don't stress yourself out and have so much anxiety about the next 4 years. And I know that's so hard to say, right? There's so easier said than done. Don't have anxiety about the next 4 years. What are you talking about? Right? And it's so much easier said than done. But just know, if you walk with an attitude of that, everything's going to work out, that today's going to work itself out, tomorrow's going to work itself out, every day's going to work itself out, then I promise, like, you'll, like, the peace of mind that you will have will exceed any anxieties that you have about the next 4 years or 8 years. But yeah, this is not what this podcast is for. That's not what we do here. We don't do that here. Well, what do we do here? Right? We talk about art. Listen, there is well, before I get into the nitty-gritty, I do want to say RIP to the GOAT. We are bereaved. We are bereaved. RIP Quincy Jones. Excuse me, I had like a burp, but it was like a half burp. But it was like never mind. R.B. Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones passed. I think they said he passed Sunday in L.A. around his family. And, you know, just a legend, man. A legend. Quincy Jones has in a remarkable, like, probably the greatest catalog ever in, like, the history of catalogs when it comes to producers in music. So RP to a GOAT, RP to a legend. There's so many amazing artists and tracks in like Michael Jackson. When people like was just writing Michael Jackson off as just a child star, right? Like, oh, you were just a child star, you were a kid star, you're washed up, whatever the case may be, right? Quincy Jones took a chance on him, and they made Off the Wall, and then they made Thriller, and then Bad happened. Like, Quincy Jones, also Frank Sinatra. Then if we go into today's world, the last thing that I know Quincy Jones to have like worked on or to have like a part, to be a part of, is Corday's album, Corday's first album. So RIP to a legend, man, that has had his hand on every single, like, had his hand everywhere in music. A guy that, like, you're like, man, your favorite musician's favorite musician is probably Quincy Jones, or your favorite producer's favorite producer is probably Quincy Jones. And Quincy Jones also had a saying, right, where he said, man, listen, I will get the best musicians, I will get the best singers, I'll get the best songwriters, I'll get the best engineers, and I'll put them all in a room, crack the door open, leave some room for God, and we'll make magic. And he said he'll sit back and just let them do what they do. And like, I just kind of take that and apply that to most of the things in my life. Like, I get the best people around me to do X, Y, and Z, crack the door open, let God enter, do his thing. I sit back and just let the magic happen, right? And just having that type of mindset, I've been able to be a part of so many great things and so many like enjoyable moments by just like sitting back and just like, you know, just enjoying, being able to sit and enjoy the moment, like how he's saying, like, just sit back and just like let it be, right? But yeah, shout out Quincy Jones, RIP to GOAT, to a legend. We are bereaved. Lord, you keep taking them from us so young, 91 years old, so young. So young at the young ripe age at 91 years old. Yeah, that one hurt. I learned about that on Twitter too. I kept seeing people say, oh man, Quincy Jones, thank you so much for everything you did. I was like, dang, Quincy must have died, because this many people just don't be thanking people for no reason. Like, you either it's your birthday or you died. And I was like, I know for sure it ain't Quincy Jones' birthday. Good Lord have mercy, he died. He did. Lord have mercy, he did. R.I.P. Quincy Jones. What I wanted to talk about today, Elliot and DJ Academics, two hip-hop media journalists, moguls, guys, important people, kind of. Important people might be a little stretch. That might be debatable. But two hip-hop moguls and guys that push hip-hop media forward, can't deny that, are having a source off right now. So Elliot Wilson came out on what's this platform called? I don't know. It's the podcast that he has with him and DJ Head. And he was talking about how, Drake in Future, apparently to his sources, the sources that he has, he said that Drake and Future got on a call. They talked for about an hour and some change, and they sorted out all differences that they've had, right? And this is what Elliot says. He says to his sources, by his sources that are very good sources, valuable sources. Drake and Future got on the call, and all differences that they had was put to the side, right? And I was like, man, look at this. Look at this. Drake and Future put their differences to the side when Thug came home. Oh, I didn't talk about Thug coming home last pod, y'all. Thug home, Demon home. Actually, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. Just young, truly humble under God is home. Young, truly humble under God is home. I said fresh. Jeff is home. Oh man, I can't wait for the new music from him. His first day out mix is going to be crazy. Even though he's been out for like a week or like a little less than a week, but I know what I mean. He's finna go crazy. I can't wait for the next Thug drop, man. Welcome home, brother. Welcome home. Anyway. So, yeah, I was like, man, Drake and Future squash beef right as Thug came home. That's such a beautiful moment. That means we're going to get music from all three of them soon, right? Blah, 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 right? About a day later, literally the next day, Academics goes on his live stream, and he was like, I don't know what Elliot is talking about. But Drake and Future haven't squashed anything. They haven't dapped up. They haven't got on the phone. They haven't got on no calls. They haven't squashed anything. And Academic says that he has very great sources as well, from very trustworthy sources as well. Excuse me. Now, who do I believe? I don't know. That's none of my business on who to believe. But here's where my problem lies with media, right? When you go to school for journalism, like when you go to school and you're learning about journalism in school, one of the first things they tell you about journalism, right? Or just about if you're writing an essay, if you're writing a paper, if you're writing anything where you need to have a source in a citable source, make sure you have multiple. Make sure you have multiple. You can't just list. They say I've heard from a source, from a very viable. What the fuck am I saying right now? A very reliable. There we go. A very reliable source. They're saying that they're hearing these all. Nah, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear this. Oh, I heard that. I heard this. You need multiple sources before you come out into the public and say like, oh, this happened. This thing happened or this thing is happening, right? Because if you come out and say, oh, this is the headline. This is it. If it didn't come from the person's mouth specifically. So if Drake and Future didn't come out both and say, hey, this is fixed. This relationship between us is fixed. You know, there's no beef. Free band, OVO, we back together like white on rice, right? If they came out and say that, okay, cool. That's a primary source. That's like something that's from the people that actually was going through it, so you can trust that, right? But secondary sources, brother, you need to even back the source up with another. Like you need evidence for that. Like, you can't just go out here being like, oh, yeah, my source told me. And, nigga, who's the source? I hate you, hip-hop. I hate hip-hop. I hate people in hip-hop, dog. I hate you. Oh, I hate you. Because everybody be... that type of song. No, it's called I Killed You. Never mind. Yeah, I hate you hip-hop people, bro. Because every time... Or just you music media, people in media in general, right? Because they always say, oh, my sources... I have sources, you know, my sources say X, Y, and Z. Nigga, who's the source? Who is saying these things? If you're writing an essay and you say my sources tell me X, Y, and Z, or my source says, your teacher's going or your professor's going to look at that paper and be like, who said this? Who said this? And I need your source cited. I need an MLA citation for all of your sources from now on because I'm tired of this. This isn't the first time that this has happened, by the way. This happens more often than you think. One person says something else, then another person come out and say that's not false. Where did you get this from? Sometimes artists themselves come out and be like, yo, you're bugging out. This never happened, or I never said this, or this never occurred before in life. Dog, who are these sources? Where are y'all getting this information from? Why do y'all feel like y'all need to be... Sometimes being right is better than being first. You know that, right? Especially with media, especially in journalism. Being right is better than being first. Just because you're first at something, I'd rather be in the back and right than be first and wrong. Because now you being so quick to get a story out, you're being first, and that potentially having some backlash as, hey, that's not true. That didn't really happen. Now your credibility is gone. You're no longer a credible source, because now it's like, oh, you're so thirsty to get the story out, but you missed all of these facts, and this isn't even a thing that happened. You know what? I can't even trust you as a source no more. Now your credibility as a journalist goes out the window, right? Because you're so thirsty to get the first out. I'd rather be back, get all of the information, be the nigga like, oh, yeah, this happened, but did you hear that about all the other stuff that goes along with it? And they be like, no, what's all the other stuff? And then they send, my page pops up and I got all the facts and I'd rather be that person than to be the person that's first on everything. I'd rather be the person that has all of the information. But hey, that's just me. But maybe I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm not gonna lie. And not to toot my own horn or anything, but toot. I'm cut from a different cloth when it comes just to this space, right? There's a lot of people that's been doing this way longer than I have, and I respect them so much. And I respect the fact that they've been doing this for years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, however long the case may be, right? I'm so grateful for them for paving the way for people like me. But at the same time, I can't sit back and say, like, dog, like, a lot of y'all just have been doing this. I have been studying this. So while a lot of y'all just been doing, and y'all have only been doing in this one space, I have been studying this journalism and media thing in all different spaces. And now I can combine what I've learned from each space into this one thing. So now I know not to do no dumbass shit like talk before you know. I know not to be like, breaking news, my nigga. Like, I know not to hit you with no breaking news and not have nothing factual behind the breaking news. I know that. And something told me Elliot's jump was off. And I'm not saying that Elliot is wrong, 100% wrong here. Don't worry, I'm gonna get to act in a minute. But I'm like, by DJ Head's face when Elliot told him that, when Elliot was like, oh, Drake and Future, they, according to my sources, they squashed their beef. They got on the phone call to squash their beef. DJ Head looked at him like, my nigga. That's how DJ Head looked at him. DJ Head looked at that nigga. He was like, all right, nigga, all right. That ain't what I heard. Dang, I ain't heard nothing about the all right, if you say so. That's exactly how DJ Head looked at him. He didn't know what the, all right, my nigga. Like, if you say so. Like, I should have known right there that Ellie was on some wild. But also to point, like, academics, right? We all know academics, OVO payroll. Let me not spread propaganda. I literally just talked about that like 2 seconds ago. Let me not spread propaganda. We don't know if academics is on OVO's payroll or not. That's also neither here nor there. We know that academics is a good friend. Well, I wouldn't even say good friend of. He is very adamant about his love for Drake and his respect for Drake. And we know often if it's Drake versus the world, what side he is going to stand on in that cause, right? So is academic very reliable when it comes to Drake news and information? Yeah, in some sense, right? However, do I want a lot of my information coming from academics per se? Nah, not really. So not as just a journalist, but as a fan of music, I'm in a toss-up because now I don't know what to believe. Now I need somebody to come out, and I don't need a homie. I don't want to see Chubbs. I don't want to see Metro. I want to see either Aubrey, Drake, Graham, or Navadius. Somebody has to come out and say something. Navadius or Aubrey, one of y'all had to come out and say something. Because too many things in the media now. There's too many things in the media. And also, out of the beef that was had, I kind of believe Elliot because the Future and Drake beef was the only one that I can see being rekindled. That's the only relationship that I can see being rekindled. And maybe Metro, Future, Metro, Drake. Those are the only relationships that I can see being rekindled out of the whole beef thing, right? Kendrick, nah, can't see that. Rocky, hell no. Weekends people allegedly, Weekends people allegedly shot at Drake's crib. I don't see none of these beefs being squashed anytime soon, except the Future and Drake one, because that seemed like the most I'm really hurt, right? And sometimes when it's really just like, damn, dog, like damn, homie, like we in high school, you was the man, homie. What happened to you? When it was kind of like when it's kind of one of those. Sometimes those can be revived. Those relationships can be revived, right? But when it's the man, I effed your baby moms, you slapping your mother, you a pedophile, you this, that, and the third. When stuff like that starts getting thrown around, then there's not really no salvaging those type of relationships. But the Future and Drake relationship, I think that can still be salvaged. I think, right? And I think Metro's can be salvaged. Drake and Metro's relationship can be salvaged as well. But please, if you're going to be out here and you're going to be like, hey, I have this source, I have that source. You know, I'm talking to my sources and I'm talking in this, that, and the third. Please, one, tell us who your sources are. I hate people that be like, well, I can't say who my sources are because they didn't give me confirmation to say this, so I can't say who my sources are. So, nigga, you shouldn't be saying it. It's simple. Y'all too quick to shoot the gun. Y'all too quick to shoot the gun. Y'all not even checking to see that motherfucker loaded first. Y'all not checking to see the safety off or nothing. Y'all just out here busting. Y'all just pause. Y'all just out here busting. It's crazy. Y'all just out here busting is crazy. But y'all just so quick to shoot the gun. Y'all need to slow down. Y'all need to take all the right steps and precautions before you just let the news fly out of the holster. Let the news fly out of the clip. Y'all need to make sure y'all taking all the right steps before such things are happening. You feel me? Y'all not taking the right steps. But also, I get to see and sadly, I think Elliot went to school for journalism. I think Elliot went to college for journalism, which kind of makes me sad because it's like, dog, like, you know better. Like, come on now, like, be better. Like, come on now. Like, I don't like academics. I don't think academics went to college for journalism or communications. I don't think he did. He might have, but I don't think he did. But let me not say I don't think he did. I don't know if he did or not. I don't know. But yeah, so but I think Elliot actually did, which if he did, they should have taught you about journalistic integrity in school, brother. They should have taught you about that in school, brother. And you too old. You too much of a vet to be making these mistakes. Like people, like academics should not be the one stepping in saying, "I don't know where Elliot got this from." Like you too much of an OG for these things to be happening. But hey, gangsta slip up too, gang. I get it. Gangsta slip up too. Speaking of gangsta slipping up, what's not very gangsta that happened this week? Drake, instead of going to Weezy Fest, which shout out to Lil Wayne. They disrespected you on the Super Bowl thing, Wayne. I stand with you. They disrespected you on the Super Bowl move. They disrespected you on the Super Bowl move. I stand with you, Wayne. And when they disrespected you, guess what? You popped out. Not only do you have a day in the city, not only do you have your own the first star on the NOLA Walk of Fame, but you got the what's it called, the Florida flower, the Florida flower, baby, the little New Orleans little junk. Yeah, Wayne, you had a sold out crowd. You brought the hot boys out there. Wayne, man, shout out Lil Wayne. That was a moment in history, a great moment that Drake should have been at. But instead of Drake being there, Drake was at the Vince Carter jersey retirement, right? Which, cool. I understand you being there. I think I think he owns part of the Raptors or whatever. You have your own locker in the locker room. You're heavily invested in the team. Vince Carter, probably a huge part of him growing up in Toronto and Canada, did a lot for that country, right? But that wasn't the highlight of the night. Being there to celebrate the Vince Carter jersey retirement, right? That wasn't the highlight of the night. You know what the highlight of the night was? You being petty to DeMar DeRozan. That's not very gangster. That's not gangster. You being petty to DeMar DeRozan. Why? For what? What is that? What is that going to do? What is you being petty to DeMar DeRozan? Not calling him all types of words when he's 15, 20 feet away from you, when he's like walking away from you, you whispering under your breath, we got him now, Chubbs. Yeah, look at him running away. Yeah, and you staring him down and all that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Where's Adonis? Where's your son? What are you doing? Why didn't we bring Adonis to the game? Why are we doing this just to stare down DeMar DeRozan? Because it's a song, man. It's a song. And again, I'm a Drake fan. I love Drake. I last pod name was 0 to 100. I used the 0 to 100 song in my thing. I used the instrumental in my thing, my little trailer thing. A huge Drake fan, but this is not gangsta. You know when Riley in the Boondocks, when Riley and Gangstalicious, when Riley went to the hospital to see Gangstalicious after he got shot, and Gangstalicious, they was getting chased by the people, and Gangstalicious dropped the gun, and Riley was like, "How you dropped the gun, Gangstalicious? That is very not gangsta of you, Drake. This is very not gangsta of you, Drake. I just want you to know that." This is very not gangsta of you. Now, I would have respected you if you said everything to DeMar DeRozan to his face, right? But then DeMar DeRozan got on Instagram and did the little Debo, posted the little Friday jump where he was like, "I got my control over Debo." When he there, I be quiet. But when he leave, I be talking again. Drake. Please, brother. When I say take a hiatus, I meant like go to Turks and stay there for like 3 months. Like stay in Turks for like, go to Santorini or something. Like you stay out of the media cycle. The only time I want to see you in the media cycle is if you like did stuff like pop out at Wheezy Fest. Or wait, Wheezy Fest? Is that what it was called? Wheezy Fest? At the Lil Wayne festival thing. That's the only time I would want to see you pop out in the media, if it's stuff like that for the next about couple of months or so, right? Not for the DeMar DeRozan thing, Drake. And I felt like, and I was thinking about Drake like a week ago, right? I was like, man, you know what? I haven't heard no music from him. He's been really silent. He's just been posting like occasionally on Instagram. I like this. Like, I like that he's not like posting no subliminals. He's just chilling. He's just doing him, right? And now we're here. And I feel like we've made so much progress just to go so far back. Like we went so far just to come so far back. It's like, goodness gracious, Drizzy. Like it's starting to get it's starting to get hard to continually support. I love the music. I love I love the music, right? But it's starting to get difficult to just sit and just watch a spiral happen. Like, it's hard. Pause. It's difficult. And I don't think that was cool. That's not cool to me. Again, that's not gangster to me. That's not cool, bro. Like, yeah. And then you sitting there on the sideline saying that I'll go up there and tear the DeMar DeRozan banner down yourself. Like, come on, bro. Let's not disrespect what DeMar DeRozan did in Toronto during his tenure there. Let's not disrespect what DeMar DeRozan did. Did he get you a chip? Maybe not. But was he putting up numbers? For sure. Was he doing what he could do? For sure. And was it unfortunate that he just had to go against LeBron in the East for however many years, for sure. But was he a great player? For sure. Did he give you highlight plays? For sure. Was he the leader to multiple playoff appearances, to conference finals appearances, to semifinals appearances? For sure. Come on, guys. Let's not disrespect DeMar DeRozan. Drake, let's not disrespect DeMar DeRozan, please. DeMar DeRozan has done too much for the city of Canada to be disrespected like this. And also, DeMar DeRozan, with all that happening, DeMar DeRozan still dropped like 33 on y'all head. So, y'all got away with the win, yes. But DeMar DeRozan, let's not act like DeMar DeRozan had a bad game. He had 33. Please. I just wonder what happened where niggas can't say I'm sorry. Like, what happened, or like, how big is your pride and ego where you can be like, man, fuck these niggas, I'm not gonna apologize, I'm gonna da da da. Like, Lord, I pray my ego never gets that big. But you know what I also pray for? Pray that the Arsenal podcast does get that big, man. Pause. Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of the Arsenal podcast. I've been your host, Eric Curry III. But before we get on out here, I will give y'all my dead or alive now. If this is your first time listening to the Arsenal podcast, hello. If this is your last time listening to the Arsenal podcast, goodbye. But Dead or Alive is a segment of the podcast where me or the artist gets to choose other artists that we would like to work with that is dead or alive. Now, we can choose one artist. We can choose 100 artists. This is my podcast. I'm going to do whatever I want. Quincy Jones is definitely going to be the first one because that's like just the first person on my mind right now. Corday, JID, Tracy Ellis Ross. You know what I seen? I seen the Chief Keef and Solange link up, and I think I need that record. A Chief Keef and Solange record, you know. I think I need that. I think I need that. Imagine like Craze in the Sky with like Chief Keef saying bang every like 4 bars, like gang, gang, or bang, bang, bang. And like Craze in the Sky, bang, bang. Feels like crazy in the sky. Bang, bang. Like, I feel like that would go hard. I do. I think that would go hard. Thank y'all so much for I'm stupid. Thank y'all so much for tuning into another episode of Arts Ball Podcast. I've been your host, Eric Curry III. You can follow me on Instagram at Eric Curry III. That's ERICCURRYIII. You can follow the podcast on Instagram as well. You can follow that at Arts Block Podcast. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you can be notified every time we post a podcast. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, please give me a 5-star and a review. You can just say that this is the greatest podcast that you have ever listened to in your life, and that will suffice. I'm sorry, guys. I'm blanking. It's super hot in here, and I can't turn on my AC because the mic is working, and I can't control my heat for some reason. Like, I'm still trying to figure out how do I control my own heat, or if I can even control my own heat. But it's burning in here, but I can't cut on the AC because it's gonna make too much noise, and y'all won't be able to hear me. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Peace, love, hair grease. I love you. God loves you. Remember that artists never die. Do something that makes you happy every single day. Do it well, do it swell, do it mean, do it with purpose. I will see y'all when I see y'all, boys. I'm out.